What's up, guys? Welcome back to the studios. Locke here, and today I want to talk about this mid-month update with the uniforms that were just recently added, being Sharon Rogers, aka what I like to call her Gundam Rogers, the new Crescent uniform, and uniform for Luna Snow, all being revolving around the Light series. I'm not going to make this a super long video, just because the fact remains is I've tested all these uniforms. I did not buy them myself. I used a friend of mine's account to test them, simply because from what I saw on paper, they didn't look viable enough to even warrant purchasing, in my opinion, just from looking at the patch notes. So I went ahead and used a friend of mine's account to test them. He's a mega whale, so shout outs to you for that, bud. I appreciate that. Anyways, jumping into it, the difference for these uniforms is insignificant at best. Now, there will be some skepticism between certain people and others who don't truly understand. So, right off, let's go ahead and check out Sharon's uniform. Okay, and I'm going to explain the difference between this one and this one just really quickly and briefly. Okay, when you're using this one, you 3 delay cancel 5 delay cancel 4 is her regular rotation. Same rotation goes for this one. Now, this one does not have an iframe on the 4, which allows you to accumulate easier, versus this one having an iframe on the 4. The main difference between these two is you have, not to bash anybody, but you have a massive amount of the player base who do not use Sharon Rogers correctly when using her rotation. They see the rotations 3 cancel 5 cancel 4, and that's what they do. They don't wait to get hit. Sharon is a character that you have to be patient with. She's a I consider her a reciprocation character. When she gets hit, she punishes you for it. Point blank and period. Okay? So, this uniform is basically just an updated uniform to allow those who struggle using Sharon in the past, or even at current, to be able to accumulate when otherwise doing it wrong. And take it for what you will, but it is what it is. You know how I am, guys. I'm going to be honest, truthful, and upfront. Most people don't know how to use this uniform because they don't know how to accumulate correctly. You have to use the 3, get hit, and then 5 delay into the 4. When you don't use the 3 correctly, you will not see the damage. So when they're using this uniform and saying, "Oh my God, the damage is so great," yeah, it's great. It's normal damage, buddy. It's because you didn't use this one correctly, and this one makes it noob friendly for you to accumulate. So of course you're going to see a difference because you weren't using this one right to begin with. So, in my opinion, the upgrade to Gundam Rogers is insignificant at best. You get 5% chain hit damage increase, which is nice. In my testing, this uniform has no more hits than this one. The hit count is exactly the same for each and every single skill. Period. So yeah, you'll get a little bit more damage on the extra 5% chain hit. And sure, if you're still doing World Boss Ultimate, you'll see a little bit of a damage increase because her 4 now has a little bit of all defense down. But what's the point in 45% all defense down when you can just bring another striker who has all defense down for you and get better results? So, in my opinion, it's like, what's the point? So, in my honest opinion, if you have this uniform, practice and learn with this one, because this one is going to perform just about the same as this one. This one has a small tweak to its base damage percentage on the skills, but that's about it. Outside of the chain hit damage increase of 5%. But if you know how to use this one, then you don't even need to worry about this one at all. a waste of crystals. And if you do just in generally love the look of the uniform and you still want to get it, I would suggest buying any of these. And this goes for any of these uniforms. Get them on Black Friday. We're about a month and a half or so away, like a month and 3 weeks, give or take, away from Black Friday. Why pay $10.50 for this when you can get it for $8.75 on the Black Friday discount? Much better deal, more bang for your buck if you really, really want any of these uniforms. So, the real reason to pick this up, there is none. Stick with this one if you already have it, because this one's pointless unless you have trouble accumulating damage. And in my opinion, this one's, to be honest, a little bit worse because the 4 leaves you open to pierce damage. If, especially in World Boss Ultimate, when you're fighting Null or Mephisto and they use an attack that has pierce, you can kiss your immunity goodbye. Especially like when Null throws them spikes that follow you around. You being all the immunity you want, you get hit by one of those or one of his purple fielded attacks, that's pierce. It's going to go right through that immunity. Bye-bye. And you're standing still. At least with this one has an iframe and a hop and sends you halfway across the screen. You can dip out of the way, at least with this one. You ain't doing that with this one. So that's Sharon Rogers. Luna Snow. I will say she got a slight upgrade in damage compared to her old uniform, but it comes with a cost. The cost is no skill resetting of the 1, 2, and the 3 skill. That's completely gone. So you're gonna miss having those extra hits in there. Now, people say, "Oh, she got more hits on this uniform," but she didn't. She didn't. All they did, if you notice on this uniform, the 2 skill has like, I think 28 hits or something like that. And then on this one, the 2 skill only has like 12, give or take, something like that. Okay? All they did was switch the number of hits between the 3 and the 2 for the uniforms. That's all they did. So this 2 skills, 12 hits, is now on the other uniform, is on a different skill. And this skill's major 12 hits is now on the 28 hits is now on the 2 for this skill, where the 28 hits was on the 2 for this one, and vice versa. If you get it, just mess with the 2 and the 3 and you'll see what I mean. The 1, the hit count is pretty much the same. On the rest of the hit counts, it's pretty much the same. Just if you have both of these uniforms or you want to test yourself, look at the difference in the hit counts between the 2 and the 3, and then swap the hit counts, vice versa, between these uniforms, and you'll see that that's really the difference. The 228, the 2 skills 28 hits is now on this uniform's 3rd skill, and this skill's 12 hits or whatever on the 3rd skill is now on this one's 2 skill. That's all they did. They swapped the hit count. Outside of that, she did get a little bit of a DPS bump on her damage. But, again, another cost. You now have to delay on the 2, and you now have to delay on the 3, because if you don't let them play out and you cancel too early, you might as well kiss your damage goodbye. Especially if you just popped the T3 and you're trying to accumulate, you might as well kiss all them hits goodbye. Because you cannot cancel the same way you could with this uniform or this uniform in the past. So it really depends on whether or not you want to sacrifice your skill resetting and your cancelability for a little bit more DPS on the attack and losing out on the other. Now, I will say she's a little bit better for World Boss Legend, slightly, but considering, I don't really think this is a viable pickup if you already have this one. Now, if you have this uniform and you never got the lifestyles, then I would suggest go ahead and pick this one up, because it is going to be a bump for you over the Andromeda suit. But in my opinion, if you have this one, you don't really need this one either. But again, if you're going to pick it up, Black Friday, yada, 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 that whole spiel again. Crescent. Let's go ahead and find Crescent in here. I got her way at the back of the bus, I think. Yep, she's way at the back of the bus, guys. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Scroll City. All right. Crescent. Talking about her uniform. She's not PvE, guys. She's just not. Um, Going over this uniform versus this uniform, the skill animations are slightly changed. Otherwise, it's the same. It looks to be about the same amount of hits. If you notice in the patch notes, they've increased the hit number of the tier 3, which is not going to be uniform specific, guys. So when you're trying to count the hits between base, lifestyles, and serious, you're going to get the same amount of hits on the tier 3 in testing regardless, because they increase the amount of hits of the base tier 3. So you're not going to see a change. So anybody who's crying, oh, well, I don't see a difference in the number of hits on the tier 3, it's because the tier 3 is a base skill. It has nothing to do with the uniform. Nothing. Her tier 3 is the same across all scopes of whether it be base, lifestyles, or serious. They increased it on a base level, not a uniform level. So no, you're not going to be able to count the difference. Not anymore. Not unless you have a video of you testing Crescent in the past. Then you'll be able to count the hits on that one, on that video, and then count it considering in testing and previewing the new with the new update. Then you'll be able to see. But as it is, you won't. Her PvE ability is just drops at like mid game. And in my opinion, her only PvE value is as a leadership. Now, she is going to be somewhat decent for PvP, and I don't mean timeline battle. AC. She's an AC character all day long. She's a subpar meta. She's not going to be top of the meta. She's not going to be at the bottom. She's going to be like right there in the middle. She's going to be decent. She's going to put in some work for you, but she's not going to go in there and just like roll a full native tier 3 team by herself. She's not a loot cage, but she is fairly decent. So if you're an AC head, definitely pick this up. She's going to do you some work in AC and give you some extra survivability, some extra damage, some extra AoE, and she's going to get you some extra kills, where otherwise, without this uniform, she's not going to do anything. She's going to sit and collect dust on your roster. As for White Fox, I do not have it. I missed grabbing the uniform for her for Christmas. It will be popping up again, so I still have the Lifestyles uniform. She did get her tier 3. As a tier 3 character, DPS-wise, she's going to be garbage. At least for everything except maybe Mephisto. She's going to be fairly decent versus Mephisto, being a speed type, having a type advantage, etc., etc., etc. She's going to do extremely well, but only if you have the Lifestyle uniform, or the Lifestyle Series 2 uniform. Sorry, the Christmas one. If you don't have that one, forget it. Straight forget it. You don't have the extra ignore dodge. You don't have the extra increased buffs, and etc., etc., etc. To tier 3 White Fox, you're basically looking at a Mephisto clear and a top tier meta support. That's it. Mephisto and support. She's always been a support, everybody knows that, but that's the deal. You're not going to see any extra performance out of her outside of Mephisto. At least not until she gets a new uniform. But that's my quick rundown of the update. Again, I will say any of these uniforms, even especially now with there being an all uniform sale, I would skip buying any uniforms at this very particular moment, simply due to about a month and 3 weeks left until Black Friday. That's going to give you some extra time to stock up some more crystals, because uniforms are going to be 50% off, being $8.75 instead of $10.50, and you'll be able to get a lot more uniforms for your crystals than you will during an all uniform sale. So honestly, in my opinion, what I do when Black Friday comes around is I skip the 3 all uniform sales before Black Friday, which that's 3 months of uniforms that I skip because you figure 2 uniforms at 1050 is running you 2100 crystals. Well, for 350 more crystals on top of that 2100, you're going to get 3 uniforms at 875 versus 2 at 1050. An extra 350 crystals, that's like just your regular monthly login bonus. That doesn't even include anything you get from timeline, dailies, etc., etc., etc. So it's much easier to save up extra crystals along the way, especially if you backtrack yourself a little bit and prepare for it. But that's my take on this updates, or this mid-month update uniforms. Take it or leave it. You feel free to disagree with me. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And I look forward to hearing from you. This is Locke signing out. Have a good one.